Sunday. So excited to talk to you guys today. It's been a little while, but I'm back. I've been working on so many projects. I'm super excited about one that I have in the works right now. I just announced it today on Instagram, and it's called Emotions and Oils A to Z. So I'm going to be rolling out each essential oil that doTERRA has and what emotions it helps with. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in this broadcast today. So I just was working on it this morning, Sunday morning at home with the family. We're each working on our projects. Ray is cleaning out part of our room to make space for his kind of workout area. And Caden is totally absorbed in this stop motion project that he has going on, which I'll probably be posting here because he's like really jazzed about it. And it's really cool. So anyway, we've got this like project day happening here. We're just about to head to our niece's birthday party. So I just wanted to jump on though, just felt inspired today to share this message with you. It came to me this morning in my quiet time where I sit. And so today what I want to talk to you about is the stories that we tell and how they actually serve to get us more stuck where we don't want to be, make it harder to get out of that place. And then I want to share 3 steps that you can do right now to help you gain traction toward thoughts and feelings and results that actually bring you closer to where you want to be. So welcome to everybody who's joining. Feel free to say hi. I love having dialogue in the comments, so it's really fun when you guys want to interact in that way. Please go ahead. So I've got my notes here too that I'm looking at. I want to make sure I don't forget anything that I want to say. I just want to start off by asking to think about, do you ever find yourself telling stories, talking to friends, talking to the cashier, talking to your partner, talking about things that actually don't make you feel good as you're sharing these stories with people? Maybe you're, recounting something that happened to you during the day, talking about your childhood, talking about something that you've experienced, and you feel compelled to go into vivid detail about what was said to you, what was done to you, how it felt, the ways that you're actually right and that your desires were appropriate and the ways that they were thwarted. Yes, Danny, this is what happens. We do this. We all do this. I do this. So when you're done with the story, you end up feeling all worked up. You've got all these emotions running in your body, and you feel more sure of your rightness than ever. But at the same time, you feel like shit. You feel like crap after you have shared all this. So it feels like a disconnect there, right? Amanda says, I'm a huge storyteller and not always positive. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you, Amanda, for your honesty there, because so many of us, it's human. It is totally human because we have these emotions that don't feel good in our bodies and we don't know what to do with them. So I want to give a little bit of a reframe on maybe some other things we can reach for when we're feeling this way. Danny says, all week I've been doing this. Well, then this is for you, Danny. I must have just gotten this download just for you who are here, who feel called to dig into the ways that our stories can actually make us feel worse. So what happens is retelling these stories that don't feel good only serve to spin our tires deeper and deeper into the mud. Can you feel that? It's just like you're trying to gain traction. You're trying to kind of get evidence, proof for why I'm right and why they're wrong. And isn't this the way aren't I accurate? But our tires are just spinning and spinning. Yeah, I'm seeing hearts. They're just spinning and it does not feel good. And what ends up happening is not only does it not feel good inside of us, but what happens to the people who are around us, the loved ones that we're trying to connect with, that we're trying to share, what's happening for us, they end up feeling like they just got mud flung all over them. So we end up not feeling good. They feel like they just were thrown up on. It's a lose-lose scenario, so nobody gets their needs met in the situation. Nobody really walks away feeling good. So 3 ideas, 3 steps to actually getting traction when we're in this place. A plan that helps us to move forward and not to get stuck spinning in the mud. Okay, so the first way, and my favorite way, as you all know, is use your oils. Pull out your essential oils. They're a fantastic tool to help you uncover that underlying message that the emotion is trying to convey to you, because it has information. It has really helpful, a really helpful message for us. So we want that. We want to take that and use that. So it helps us to uncover that, and then it helps us to move through it more quickly so we don't get stuck in it. So a protocol that that I created specifically for these stories that we can get stuck in, and you can watch this later or take notes. The first is lemongrass. 1 drop on the back of the neck. Lemongrass is a really powerful cleanser of emotional energy, so it helps to release limiting beliefs. Remember this, and this is one that I carry with me all the time, because this is not a once and done. This is a rinse and repeat. Anyone who's taken a workshop with me before has heard me say that. This isn't you're going to do it one time and you're never going to have this negative thought again. You're never going to tell this story again. No. Good, Amanda. Yes, pull it out. So this is one that can come up often, and lemongrass is a really powerful one. So even if you only have 1 essential oil, lemongrass is such a great one if you relate to what I'm talking about. So it helps to release limiting beliefs. The second oil is eucalyptus. You're going to take a drop and rub it across your forehead. Eucalyptus helps to reveal these patterns of thinking that we have that lead us to feeling unwell. Eucalyptus is all about wellness. It encourages taking full responsibility then for our own well-being. So that's going to help get us a little bit closer to where we want to be. The third oil is cardamom, which you might cook with. It's a really great essential oil to use to help you regain self-control and mental clarity when you're frustrated with others. So if you are angry and frustrated, this is the oil to reach for. And I want you to put 1 drop of this on the top of your head, right on the crown of your head. And usually when I'm doing these protocols, I just take the bottle, put my finger on the top, and just tip it. So it just gets a little bit of oil on there, and I put it on the wherever I'm using it. So great oil when you're angry. It helps us to stop blaming others. And a lot of times that's where we're stuck, when we're having these kinds of negative cyclical thinking. Taking personal ownership, responsibility for our feelings, and then it helps then to lead us into feeling more calm, more peace, and more emotional freedom. The third oil in this protocol is lavender. This is the oil of self-expression. And I want you to put 1 drop on your heart space, which actually, not up here on the chest, but right on the breastbone. It's at the nipple line. You want to put it right in the center. You can rub 1 drop there. And this is going to aid in self-expression. It's going to help you connect to what are those deep feelings that need to be expressed. What do I need to hear about myself? Sometimes we have a deep fear of being seen or being heard, and we might have a belief that it's not safe to express ourselves, and lavender can help us to move past this. The next oil is frankincense. 1 drop on the solar plexus, which is right where the ribs meet, a few inches above the belly button. Frankincense is the oil of truth. So this helps us to reveal the deceptions and the false truths that we've got going on in there. It invites us to let go of lower vibrations and that negativity and to start rising. Lets our energy start coming back up to a place where we can actually do something good about it. It helps us to break down the walls that we put up around our mind and around our heart. And then it connects the soul with its inner light. It reveals that truth, the truth that's really in us, that our higher self knows all the time, that our inner self is always connected to. Frankincense helps to uncover that. And then the last one that I want you to use for this protocol is balance, a drop each on the soles of your feet. And this balance oil is a mixture of several different tree oils, so it's really grounding. It has that presence of a tree, a rooted tree. So like the trees that it comes from, it helps you to come down from your overactive mind, where we've got all this stuff going on up here, helps us come down into our roots, to ground down. It gives us stability and inner strength. Carrie, I love you too. So that brings us back down into our body, helps get us grounded. Okay, so we put on our oils. That's starting to work with these energies. It's starting to allow us to see more clearly what's happening inside, starting to allow those emotions and those energies to do what they need to do and to move through us. The second step in this process is to meditate. And for you, you might be, an avid meditator. I see some hearts there, so this is already something that you're probably doing. Maybe you've never meditated before. Maybe you even think it's a bad word, and it sounds terrifying or scary. What it really means, and let me just break it down in the terms that I like to teach it in, is you put on comfortable clothes, you sit in a comfortable spot, you close your eyes, and you breathe. That's all it is. Ideally, I'm going to just say this as the gold standard that we want to shoot for, 15 minutes a day. Every day, just carving out 15 minutes for ourselves, to be quiet with ourselves, to allow this stuff, just like you would be with a friend. You would make time to be with your partner together in connection. We make time to be with ourselves, just listening, just being there for ourselves. Okay, the goal is not to be without thought. It is not to say, I'm not going to have any thoughts for the next 15 minutes. My mind is going to be completely clear. No, that's crazy talk. Our minds don't do that. What happens is, it's a practice. It's like a NBA team practicing, their free throws. They need to practice that because sometimes they're on, sometimes they're off, and it's just about developing that muscle, right? So when we're practicing meditation, we're just flexing this muscle of letting the thought come, noticing it. Sometimes our mind gets off, squirrel, shiny thing. We go off onto this whole what my grocery list is, or what happened last night that really shook me up, or whatever it is. Those things need to come up. And the practice is, as soon as we can notice that we're off in that new vein of thought, to go, oh, and just come back to the breath. And we might stay with the breath for a few breaths, and then our mind goes off. And then we just bring it back. We come back to the breath. So that's the practice. It's just coming back, giving our nervous system this time and this space without judgment, without catching ourselves and going, gosh darn it, I did it again. I can't do this. I'm a failure at this too. No, we want to just let go of that. We just come back to the breath, and it gives our nervous system such a chance to unwind. It's incredible. So if you want any resources for meditation, a couple of my favorites, and I will link them here too. On YouTube, you can look for Abraham Hicks Vortex Meditations. Those are some of my favorites. I do those every day. There are a couple apps. There are lots of apps, I'm sure, that are great. And please list your favorites in the comments, because it's really nice to learn from each other. Two that I have used and I like are Headspace and Calm. So you can get some good meditations just on your phone there. Okay, so that's number 2, meditate. And Danny says, yes, I've been doing this. I just need to build on my essential oil collection. Awesome, Danny. Good. Yeah, and just start with what you have. There's a great saying that is, the best oil to use for a situation is the one that you have. So when in doubt, just grab what you've got and use that. Okay, number 3. Third step in this 3-step process, get curious. So now, we've used our oils, we've had some meditation time, we're in this place of a little more calm, a little more centered, and we want to hold space for ourselves to explore what's going on here. What is this story about that I'm that I'm so committed to telling. So think of it like holding space, like for a friend or for a child who's hurting. You would give them time and space to process and to learn about themselves. Coaches hold space. I hold space like this for my clients, where I ask a question and then I hold loving space where I give them a chance to just discover what wisdom is inside of themselves. So that's what we can do for ourselves in this moment. We can be our own coach. We could be our own friend. And I like to journal, and I like to teach journaling as you do this process, so that as you're asking yourself questions, you have kind of a trail, kind of breadcrumbs to help you see where you came, and maybe some highlights, some things that stand out to you from that conversation that you're having with yourself. So some questions that you may want to play with. You can also, you could ask any loving, open-ended question that has its intention as curiosity about learning more about ourselves. So some great ones. What am I feeling? What am I feeling? What are the emotions? Like, name those emotions that are coming up. What am I thinking or doing that's causing these feelings? Often, when we're committed to taking responsibility for our feelings, we are able to see the ways that we're actually perpetuating this stuff that then brings up these feelings of hurt or feelings of anger. What's my responsibility in this situation? So that speaks to that too. What's the guidance from my higher self, from my higher power, whoever it is that you look to? And for you, it may even just be a version of yourself as an old, wise person. Sometimes that's what I conjure up. It's like, what does the wisest part of me think about this? What is the guidance from the part of me that knows the truth, that knows my essence, that knows my spark? What is that piece, that part of me, what does it have to say? So what's the guidance there? There are lots of resources out there for asking helpful questions, and two that I love are the work of Byron Katie, which you can find lots of information for online, and Inner Bonding, which you can also find both lots of free information online to learn those specific processes of questioning, but it's really about just getting real curious about what's happening inside. So just in closing, as you begin to make this relationship with yourself, to strengthen that relationship that you have with yourself, and to become a nurturing, loving, wise presence for yourself, you're then more able to interact with the world and the people around you as a more nurturing, loving, and wise presence. And that's the goal here, really, is for us to be so filled up inside that we can then be a light in the world for other people. So let me know in the comments how this goes for you as you try these things out. Join me on Instagram for Emotions and Oils A to Z. I'll be posting every few days an essential oil and what emotions it helps to deal with, and how you can use it for helping to shift your emotions and learn from your emotions. And then just a reminder that I want to leave you with: you are worthy of your love and care. And if I can be the one to give you permission to make it a priority to develop this relationship with yourself, I'm happy to be that for you. So Beth says cardamom in bulk, please. Yes. Yeah. Any anger, we're bathing in that stuff. Okay. I love you all. Have a great day.